Hi folks, the watercolour this morning, landscape of course. This is the £90 paper. Gives it a bit of a wet. I always do wet in wet watercolours, always have done. Okay, using the medium hake, apparently it's pronounced hake, so I've got a garden implement called a rake in my shed. Okay, so colours, well there we are, usual palette: cadmium yellow, dirty, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna. And you can see that it's still pretty damp from the last time I used it, because I keep it in a Ziploc bag with a piece of wet toweling underneath the palette, and that keeps it nice and workable. Okay, so let's give a blush of the sienna. If you're going to do water, which I am, then paint at the same time. Put the reflections in before you even do the landscape or foreground. Right, so let's get a bit of red in there. I like a bit of red. I don't like that. Now you can tilt the board. Now this dries a lot lighter than when you put it on, about 50%. So a nice bit of blue. Right, we'll put a bit of cloud in there now. Okay, I can adjust that horizon so we can have a bit of a gap between the ruffled water and the landscape. So let's just clean it up a little bit. Okay, now the paper will expand. So we just pull it tight. I did do this a couple of times, but even with the £200 that I used the other day, or Monday I think, they grow as well, and that's why I don't really like locking the paper in with masking tape. And then wetting the paper, it just goes everywhere, just bubbles up. But you can, or if you work fast enough, you can always compensate with that, and you can always re-clip the paper. Let's just take a okay, that'll probably fit in. Right, before I carry on, I'm going to dry that. Where's my hair dryer? I got a great bit of advice with my memory card that I used. It's not that old, it's about a year. It's well used, It's a 32 GB one, and it didn't record. I recorded 2 videos and a trailer on Monday, and it didn't record. But Barry, one of my subscribers, came up with another great tip, which is to just format it. I don't usually format the cards, but I will now. And it came back to life, so I'm pleased about that. Okay, so take your headphones off, folks. See that? See, now that fixes the paint. Now, unlike acrylic, the watercolour is movable. You can scrape out or lift out. But once the acrylic dries, that's permanent, but then you can quite easily paint over it. But I do like painting with acrylic, or watercolour paper, that is. Right, let's have another hake. There we go, this medium one. And I want to do a bit of a background, so let's have a bit of alizarin, a bit of blue. Pull out the loose hairs. So let's now, needs to be said, make sure your horizon is horizontal. Mine's going uphill. Just mix a little bit of a no, just a little, that's more or less horizontal. Let's get that filled in a little bit there. Now the hair's pulling out. I'll get that. The hake is just wearing out. It's quite old now. Okay, now we can put in a bit of a background on that. You can use any brush you like, of course. You don't have to use the hake or arcane. So let's have a sort of a bluey green. So mix the 3 primaries. A bit of red. That red is much stronger than any other colour on the palette. Look. I'll do this, so just chop some in. Needs to be quite thick paint, otherwise it'll just vanish into the wet paint behind. And by painting dark on the whole horizon, you can lift out any boats you want to, or boat sails. I'm not one for detail, as you know. I try to create an impression of my detail. Okay, it's not the cleanest edge, but you can always damp, when that's dry, the paint's dry, you can go over it and straighten it up. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so we've got a tree line along that horizon. Right. Now when that's dry, or when I dry it, we can straighten all that up, then we can lift out, but a nice dark in the middle here. Try to get everything just a little bit different. We're going up a little bit there. Should be a lovely day later, but it's a bit foggy at the moment, and I think problems on some of the motorways. Okay, now we're going for some foreground. Now you see, I've echoed the sky in the water here. Let's start to put in some texture, some foreground. I'll use Frank Clark's brush. Lovely little brush that is. Oh, that's a bit warm colour, burnt sienna. Add a bit of yellow to that. And we'll build this foreground up as we go. Foregrounds paint quickly like skies. Of course you don't have to, you can paint how you like, but I get them out of the way and then concentrate more on the interesting bits. A bit of green in there. So you're making a green, just the blue and the yellow. A bit of salt marsh here on the back here. A bit of Payne's grey. And a bit of burnt sienna. We're just creating an impression by putting texture in. Right, let's get some Oh, I've got a bit of dark in there. Bit of shadow. Payne's grey. Okay, go back to the larger medium hake now. Pull that down there. See how flat that paper is? Ah, perfect. No, we just want another bit of a, well, I'll dry that because I want to just bring a bit of a beach round in front of that. Why not? So here we go, headphones off. Right, hake, clean. I'll clean it on the clean bit of toweling here, and want a bit of a beach, so let's have a bit of burnt umber. I don't use a lot of burnt umber. You can make it with Payne's grey and burnt sienna, so we've set a bit of Payne's grey with that. Okay, there we are. And we can put a little bit of bushy stuff in there. Payne's grey, burnt sienna. Alright, let's put in a bit of a heavier. Right, I might just use a bit of white gouache on there. But when that's dry, I'll just lift out a little bit of reflection there. I love that colour, that's quite good. Payne's grey, cadmium yellow, and a bit of burnt sienna. So let's well, there we are. I'll dry that off. That's got a little bit wrong there, but we can cope with that. Right, headphones off. Right, I just want to lift out some texture in there, so get the big hake and pull the hairs out. Right, now I'll very carefully put some darker texture in that when I've dried off. And then just get some darker greens, so Payne's grey. Dark green here. Well, not what I had in mind, but right, I'll get a rigger and there's just a little bit of texture in there. Okay. Now we've covered up all that blue now, so I might go over the bit of dry brush, but I might just leave that as it is. Didn't do anything yesterday on the bike ride. Then other things got in the way. Okay, we'll put a mount on that. It's quite a simple one. Always be masking tape. Right, always losing stuff. There it is. Well, there we are. A very simple watercolour. Bits go wrong, but you can just go texture over them. Distant hills. And if you want, you can put in some. That's a gouache. I must get some more gouache. I think my stuff is sort of dried up now. So if you like, you can use a bit of white acrylic, but I don't want to put it on my palette. I'll put it on the board here, just a little bit, just a touch. We just put a bit of a Well, that's all you need really. Be careful to wipe up any spare acrylic. You don't want that going on your trousers, like I usually manage to do. I mean, so many pairs of jeans. Right, okay folks, I hope you like that one. I'll do one for Patreon now. Thanks for looking in. Bye bye.